Why do unknown songs fascinate so many of us? I suppose it could be a shared love of music and their mysteries. The way you feel listening to a forgotten tune, whether it makes you feel nostalgic for a time period you may or may not have even lived in, or it feels isolated, with the idea of media going forgotten. Maybe it's simply catchy. No matter the reason, our curiosity must be fed. Today we're diving into lost songs, all on the more obscure side. We will get right into it, but there's nothing more fitting to talk about other than this video's sponsor, Raycon, which is a wonderful way to listen to as many unknown or known songs as your heart desires. Raycon just launched their upgraded model of the everyday earbuds, so now is the perfect time to check them out. This model is a bestseller that's packed full of great features like ergonomic design, active noise cancellation, and multi-point connectivity that lets you pair two devices at once. I have tiny ears and earbuds have always fallen out until I started using Raycon earbuds. The variety of colors is also awesome. Mine are in my favorite color, purple. Even my charging and protective cases are adorable. This pretty charging case has a whopping 32-hour battery life, and 10 minutes of charging yields 90 minutes of battery. They're my favorite earbuds because they're all I found that actually fit, make me feel cute, and I love using them while I work on videos or do stuff around the house since they don't fall out. Make sure to click the link in the description box or go to buyraycon.com/boggly to get 15% off your Raycon purchase plus free shipping. It honestly helps the channel out a lot. There is additionally a money-back guarantee if you aren't satisfied, but I don't know why you wouldn't be. Okay, let's get into it. This entry takes us through a tale of uncredited Japanese media. In February of 2024, What's That Song user Windlamp posted a clip they retrieved from a Sony digital voice recorder that was found at a California Goodwill. Off to a cool backstory, but they knew nothing else about it, and were wondering if anyone on the site could ID the song. Here's all the recorder left them with. For a while, there weren't any leads other than mentioning artists that people thought sounded similar, or proposing to narrow down release years based on the instruments possibly used. YouTube channels that are dedicated to shedding light on unknown songs were posting the clip, and it started to catch people's eye. Then a subreddit was created by user Jade Blue to try to expand search efforts and keep any further info in a localized place. Guesses on what decade it was made ranged from the late 70s all the way to early 90s. But something that seemed odd was how the Sony recorder's model year was 2010. Some users hypothesized it could be an old musical that was broadcast on television, which I suppose would make sense if it re-aired in the 2010s. Though it thankfully wasn't long until this was debunked, and the biggest lead imaginable was presented to us: the origin of where the song was played. I couldn't find how or who found it, no matter what Reddit posts or YouTube comments I went through. If you have more info, let me know, because I always want to credit those that actually find this stuff for us. User Mrs. Mercury77 posted partially found to the sub and linked the video What? Late 80s ultra quality 4K 60 frames per second SVHS National/Panasonic demonstration tape. That was a mouthful. The background audio is the full version of That's the Magic. We were lucky to have the entirety of it, but the artist remained unidentified. SVHS or Super VHS was created in Japan to be an improved version of regular tapes, with the visual quality even surpassing what NTSC analog TV captures. It was introduced in 1987. The description of the YouTube video said this was a Japan exclusive from likely the late 80s and is one of the few pre-recorded and publicly available SVHS tapes. How it ended up on a 2010 voice recorder in a California Goodwill, that I have no clue. It showcases a model going through the process of photo shoots, with special detail to the high resolution by showing things like fruit, jewelry, and makeup. The uploader makes note of our lost song. This catchy and generic 80s synth-pop track will stump you with its lyrics, plus 10 internet points to the first person to figure them out. Really Interesting also made way to a thread about the tape, saying it's been a bizarre but cool thing to catch up on. They added, in typical Japanese fashion, it has no credits.
Ready?
They were as helpful as can be, and scanned the box art to the Internet Archive. The back has these lovely strawberries in refreshing, bubbly water. And for once, this is likely a Japanese singer. Really Interesting thinks it was a mid to low popularity vocalist from a group signed to companies associated with Panasonic, but I legit don't know if the artist can be found. Like they mentioned, Japan is notorious for not crediting, and tracking down an unknown artist from the 80s would prove difficult, but not impossible. The musicians behind it definitely deserve to have recognition. Reddit user Pax307 came across an artifact while in the woods, a Motorola VE240 that still had battery life in it. After combing through the contents, they ran into a 31-second audio file titled Unknown Song. Pressing play introduced them to a pop-punk earworm that they wanted help identifying. The song says it itself. So familiar. I instantly felt like I'd heard this somewhere. It's giving Big Fat Liar soundtrack, or really most 2000s movies. I grew up on pop punk as well, and it does sound like a ton of other music in that genre, so I probably am creating a false memory. But if it turns out it's from a source I knew, I won't be surprised. Fizzy Cream commented, "Simple Plan vibes." And I had already thought it showed resemblance of their Happy Together cover that was in Freaky Friday. Fig Healthy 2230 found another pop-punk tune that was available on Motorola phones between 2004 and 5, and wondered if the unknown one is licensed under Motorola. After going through their licensed music, they had no luck. The APM music library was also checked, sadly with an absence of the song. There's yet to be anything I'd consider a substantial lead, but I have a feeling it won't go unsolved for long. Late last year, I accidentally unveiled a 2004 pop-punk album titled He Will Explode by Get Everett, a seriously obscure Illinois band. Even this had one person in my comments who had listened to them, so I think this mystery is a matter of it getting to the right person. In September of 2016, Skateboard Mommy 3 uploaded a video on Instagram of her skating. In the background, we hear an indie song. This style of music was booming in popularity at the time, and naturally commenters were asking about the title so they could listen to it on their own. For some reason, Skateboard Mommy decided to gatekeep it, and they never replied to any of the countless comments. This resulted in many people trying to find it for, 8 years. Yet the obscure track stays hidden. It's popped up in several subreddits like Tip of My Tongue, Lost Wave, and Name That Song. The first instance I could find was in November 2016. No one has ever been able to identify it. A comparison to Night Call by Kavinsky has been made, but is ultimately unrelated. Fresh Nuts 101 came across the band Tasaki Miyake, whose vocalist sounded nearly identical, and gave people hope, but she confirmed it isn't her. We do know the skate park is in Costa Mesa, California, so there's a possibility it's a local artist. Either way, it's likely sitting somewhere on Bandcamp or SoundCloud. Someone said it sounded 90s, but I think it's from the mid-2010s era of indie that took inspiration from that decade. I can't help but wonder why she wanted to gatekeep it so badly. But hopefully this video will offer some more limelight and eventually give all these people asking about it the answer they've been wanting for years. Next up is probably my favorite on the list. In April of this year, user Pinku turned to r/lostmedia, the place to discuss any media that's lost or has been recently found. They shared a mystery that's been nagging at them for years, and figured it was time to finally ask for help. Back in 2008, the metalcore band Motionless in White uploaded a gag reel of funny moments from their 2007 tour. At about 2 minutes and 40 seconds in, after one of the members is pointing out the patches in his facial hair, it cuts to them in a car with a song playing in the background. There's a $100 bounty on this one, so if you're well versed in obscure metal and happen to know it, congratulations, it's your lucky day. Metal is what I primarily listen to. I immediately was like, I gotta hear the full song. Pinku has tried Shazamming it over the years, went through possible bands on Spotify, asked the original uploads comment section, went to genre-specific subreddits about it, all to no avail. They've begun to think it was from an EP or demo, not a studio album that'd be on Spotify. Cleaning the Goob, here's the lyrics, gather your belongings at the beginning, and I'm almost 100% sure the second half is, for there's no point in questioning what's said or sent. Last word is iffy because it cuts off. This same user went through bands that played at Warped Tour in 2007 and 8, since Motionless in White played dates both years. However, never came across the right band. I suggested asking around in metal Facebook groups, and that I also doubt it's on Spotify. I have a feeling it could have been an obscure MySpace band, or something along those lines, that was still a little bit known in the community back then. I do think it's probably sitting on YouTube with a couple thousand views. I'm hoping the answer to this one doesn't stay in hiding for too long. In September of 2017, user Shedrock uploaded a 30-second clip to What's That Song? It's upbeat, and I've seen it referred to as cute, which I'd agree with.
Every time I look away, the colors seem to fade away, and all the words I ever said relying on
my first thought was, honestly, this sounds like it could easily be a hoax. I really enjoy it, but the production quality sounds like someone could have whipped it up if they wanted to create a new mysterious song. Then I realized Shedrock has posted 250 samples, over 200 which have been identified, and none were fake or anything like that. They're even the same OP as another song that had gained traction in the Lost Media circle. And after listening to it only once, it made its way into my head, and before I knew it, was stuck there. Unfortunately, OP has been inactive for quite some time. No one commented on the post until 2022, when they had already stopped frequenting the site. Users asked for a longer version if available, and where Shedrock got the audio from. But as far as I could tell, they haven't been on since 2019. In 5 years' time, you can totally have a different email address, and they probably have no clue that people are inquiring about it. To my ears, it sounds similar to Such Great Heights by the Postal Service, which could indicate it was released during that time period of indie pop. Others hypothesized it was from a MySpace band, and deleted during the data purge. Or it could have been made around the time Shedrock came across it. We know quite literally nothing, other than, thankfully, the lyrics are crystal clear. But looking them up only leads you to Reddit posts and re-uploads. I wish I had more to share about the search, but it's not well known as of now, and there hasn't really been a single lead. It's been on the radar since 2022, but I don't think it's gotten the investigative treatment yet. I wanted to get more eyes on it, and we'll see if something turns up soon. How many of you have heard this audio before? This played in plenty of toy cell phones and other toys. It's of the song Butterfly by Xlddd, along with Barks. It's very common for companies to choose a random song and slap it on a toy. I don't know why so many went with Butterfly, but that isn't the mystery we're talking about. When it comes to popular toys, oftentimes knockoffs will eventually be made. Mr. Potato Head? Never heard of him. Do you mean Funny Person? These bootlegs became known as China fakes, and some collectors take interest in them. There's even an extensive wiki on different ones. On this wiki, they have a list of songs that tend to be used for China fake toys. You'll find lots of other Xlddd, Crazy Frog, or obscure electronic music. There are a handful of dolls, however, that play the same unknown song. To some of you, I'm sure this seems incredibly trivial, but trivial shit that almost no one cares about is right up my alley. We have various belly dancers, cheerleader, and a baby with a wand. The dancers are named Belinda, and are bootlegs of Dancing Debbie. The cheerleader is simply Funny Dancing Girl Cheerleader. The version on this doll is slightly slowed down, and the instrumental reminds me of We Like to Party. This could point to the era it was likely recorded in. And there may be more toys out there that used it, in addition to these. The lyrics sound like the singer says, "I'm a rock star girl, come dance with me." Seemingly none of the China fake collectors know what the song is, and I'm honestly not entirely sure how this unknown jingle made its way into the lost media community. It was brought to my attention by this Reddit user's post, but comments on videos of these dolls have been mentioning the song for years. OP takes a special interest because this frivolous mystery is personal to them. They have childhood memories of dolls playing the song. When I asked about specific brands, they weren't sure, but said they grew up in Italy and were all knockoffs. The only confirmed brand is Sunlight Toys, a company established in either 2001 or 4, maybe even 1995. There appears to be conflicting info. This website claims they're a supplier for High Star Toys in California, amongst others, but I can't say if that's true or not. I tried to find out if the baby holding a wand is from Sunlight, but was unable to. There's scarce details about it online. An obvious possibility is the song was created for the toys. However, as this animatronic collector pointed out, knockoffs usually steal audio from other media. For instance, every toy I came across while searching had an identifiable song. By the way, some of these toys are unlike anything I'd ever seen. Others are straight up horrifying. Thankfully, the toys that play the unknown song are relatively tame in comparison. I don't think it's surprising at all that it's unknown, but I do hope there's a way to find out what it is. This song transports me back to a distant, vague memory of like being in a mall in the early 2000s, or the way spring and summer felt when I was a child. Posted to What's That Song on July 1st, 2007, 17 days before my 4th birthday, I'm glad this was finally dug up from the depths. Sure, it's generic, fun Y2K pop, but this snippet made me feel like I heard it in a movie or show as a kid more than any other Lost Wave case, even the Motorola. I saw someone else say it's also one of the only Lost Wave cases that feel truly familiar to them. I was convinced I'd heard it somewhere, and all that steered me away from thinking I hadn't was the uploader seems to be French, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. There's a little plot twist with this one though. In the middle of making this video, it was found in a movie. Funnily enough, I had a feeling it was gonna be solved before I got to upload this. My original script said, this has a vibe of either becoming the next big case or getting solved in like a week. So it was definitely the latter. A user in the sub searched the lyrics, "Strange Thing to You and Me," on Filmit, a website that lets you search YouTube subtitles, which is an incredibly useful tool that I didn't know about until this, and I think it could help solve plenty of other mysteries. It definitely isn't perfect, since automated subtitles aren't always accurate, and there's videos that aren't indexed, but I think it's worth keeping on the roster of search ideas. Those lyrics led them to Crocodile, the 2000 film about a crocodile stalking college students during their spring break. It was identified as Why by Alice in the Fields, the singer's name being Miriam Fills. This year has been unlike any other with how much lost media is being found. We've got EKT in the back rooms, couldn't really ask for anything more. Songs are being identified left and right. 2 out of my original 7 songs were found before I could upload this. Y'all are seriously on top of it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I really want to make a Lost Songs Found in 2024 at the end of this year to document just how monumental it's been, and continue to share cases to give spotlight to the more obscure ones. I'm looking forward to seeing what else the future holds in solving mysteries. Thank you.